Thanks to all our active patrons who have contributed a lifetime of $100 or more to reach Garuk Dong level status.
Here is the list of those special patrons in order of contributions.
If you would like to support our show, check out the Commander Smiths at patreon.com. Welcome to the Commander Smiths.
We are the Commander Smiths.
I'm Adam Smith.
And I'm Lowry Smith.
Don't worry.
We're cousins.
And I'm Lowry. Oh yeah, I got my last Smith.
I can edit that. That is not an issue. Audio wise.
Video wise. It's just funny. You can see it like, I feel like I have to say something more than just I'm Lowry. I knew it, Josh. I saw you on the Discord. I knew it was gonna happen, you son of a bee. He's going to bed again.
Yours?
What?
Is he?
He's going to bed again. He wants us to take our shots or get it going. Well, we do have Samson has the repeat from 2 weeks ago before Lowry's wisdom teeth got pulled. So we got 3 Malort shots right off the bat, thanks to Josh D and Samson. So Josh, you're gonna have to next week, by the way. You have a little surprise just saying in the mail for you. So I think it arrives tomorrow. I was hoping you would get it today so you could join us on it, but I
don't think we get an age check, but I hope he's over 21. We don't get a birthday info.
Okay, so this is episode 263, and why not? Let's start off. Do you want to take this Malort right away, Lowry? Get it going? Get it all lubed up a little bit? I mean, Josh is going to bed. He wants to see at least one
all right.
of them.
All right. He wants to see one of them. I feel like then we could wait until Savant. Right?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. I'm down with that. So this is episode 263. Today, what we are going to do, normally have Lowry do this part, but he's getting his Malort too.
I can do it. Okay, I can do it.
What are we doing today, Lowry? Tell me what we're doing today.
I don't know. Well, this is kind of your thing. Adam just built Urtet last 2 weeks.
Suck it next week. All right, Lowry, mark it down. I got 2 more Malort shots.
All right, now you got to go back to talking. All right, I got to write. I cannot write and chew gum at the same time.
So I got done building Urtet, and this is my first 5-color deck I've built in years and years and years and years and years. And I ran into some issues, just like, what is going on? I'm cocky now. Get another.
You sons of bitch.
So we have this reminds me back when we first started making Malort donated, where we would get like 3 weeks ahead, or it was just like, all right, I guess we're taking Malort for the next 3 or 4 weeks. So we have what, the next 2 weeks at least? Okay, so Urtet, 5 colors. It made it difficult to build the deck because you have everything to use. You would think it'd be easier, but it's really difficult. So we're going to kind of go through some tips because I just went through the process of doing it. So I have some tips that I can kind of throw out there. And then we both are just going to kind of give some problems, issues, just the tips. We haven't done a ouch.
Just the tips.
I got it. I had to bring the button back because where is it? Where are you? It is right there. What is... Stop it!
Play a little game called
Stop.
Just a Tip.
Josh D again.
Just to see how it feels.
Josh,
or
mark it down again. This is ridiculous. You guys are being ridiculous. There's some weeks where I'm like, oh yeah, we didn't have to take any Malort this week. It's awesome. I feel great after the podcast. Now it's like
2, 4, 6
next month is. Speaking of, I believe next week, right? You're gone, so the cast is on a Tuesday, right? So. So
next Tuesday will be when we do it. I'm going to go visit my dad in Arizona with the kids. So I'm going to come back really tired.
So the perfect time for Malort shots.
No wife will be helping. And that's basically going to be all me. I'm going to be tired.
So you're going to want those Malort. Daddy's going to want a drink is what you're trying to tell me.
Yes. Yes.
So next week, just FYI, we'll remind you guys again at the end of the cast, but next Tuesday will be the live YouTube feed. So jump on there. We won't be on Monday. And I'll probably do something for Monday to take that spot just in case we get people that don't remember or whatever. And like, hey, what the fuck? They're not here. So I might do, I don't know. Maybe we'll do a gameplay. Maybe I'll test out Urtet or something like that. I'd like you to be there for that, but
I won't.
I'll take a spot for it. So So yeah, that's what we're doing. We got the 5-color stuff. We're gonna go over Stump the Smith Savant is on its 6th week. So if Lowry gets it this week, which it's another patron, so it's
Add a 3rd card.
Demonic Mango is Mr. Quinn is our stumper this week. We add a 3rd card if Lowry gets this one. I had to make this one a little tougher because I feel like you might get this one. We'll see.
I see the obvious ones are really tough for me. Should we take this shot?
Oh yeah, shit. I'm just talking. All right, yeah, just
okay. All right. Well, now I'm just spilling.
All right. Cheers, Samson for this one. The next
Jesus,
two is
getting all over the place now.
It's like
I don't want it in my desk.
I remember my first shot.
That was so bad. I haven't had any liquor.
Jesus, Jesus.
What are you doing?
What is happening? I feel like I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. I wish I could throw up that Will Ferrell GIF.
Oh, I wish we could just speak in
Zoolander.
GIFs.
What the fuck? As I told Cindy tonight, I got it was the Discord was saying something. I was responding to Ibukaki. And I was like, I think in GIFs now. I don't think in like how I'm gonna write this sentence out. I'm like, how can I find the right GIF to say what I want to say?
That's how I used to listen to music, like Guitar Hero.
Oh, right.
Like all the music that I listened to was in Guitar Hero colors, and that was. The mind is weird. Oh, and way back. Okay, so when my dad took me, my brother, and then Jesse, we went down the Mississippi for 2 weeks from the beginning. And after the 3rd or 4th day, all of us had canoeing dreams where we're physically doing the paddling motion. And then you like wake up, you're like, what's going on? Or you wake up and somebody else is doing it because you're doing it for like 12 hours a day. It was, that's
crazy. So it is kind of like being on a boat for all day, and then you feel like you're on the boat when you're not on the boat anymore. So, but you were actually canoeing. That's pretty.
It was not good. It wasn't healthy for a 5th grader or a 3rd grader. Not sure about that.
So I am about to drink this, and I don't know if I'm going to like this. Cindy got me this. It is Eagle Brewery, which I have no idea where that is from. Eagle Brewery. Motherfucker, I don't know where it's from, but it's a banana bread beer. I like bananas, but I do not like banana flavored stuff. So like I hate banana flavored stuff. Like the sweet tarts that are banana or banana popsicles, they're just disgusting. So here we go. My Malort with this might not be a good chaser here.
Okay. You know what I say?
Okay, it's not awful, but it is like somebody took a beer and dropped like 30 banana sweet tarts in there. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to drink this.
That was like an old man drinking. Ugh. Oh, like that.
Ugh. What the hell is going on? This is ridiculous. Paul, what is
Obrask still isn't good. Go stop.
God damn it.
All right, Paul.
How many are we up now? What are we for the next month and 2 months? Month and a half?
Okay, so
this is insane.
For tonight, like Josh D did tonight, so that's 1, and then Samson did another 2, then Hockey did 2, then Josh D did another 2, Jesus did 2, and Paul did 2. So for tonight, they've come through with 12 shots.
All tonight. We're doing it tonight.
All tonight. We're not doing it tonight. No, we are not.
That was Josh's suggestion. He said it's time to go 4 shots a cast.
Okay, so I have to go back to the dentist tomorrow.
Of course you do.
And I do. It should be the last time. It should be the last time.
I'm doing what Ibukaki told me to do is cut it with another beer. So I'm doing it in my coffee beer with this stupid banana.
Oh, that could be interesting.
Yeah,
that could be interesting.
So the one I'm cutting it with is a Dead Irish Poet coffee stout, and it's Finnegan's, and it actually has caribou coffee in it.
Nice. Minnesota on top of Minnesota. It's great.
So we'll
I don't know why I did Tony the Tiger.
Yeah,
but
it's great.
That's not Minnesota. Hey, wait, hold on. Is Kellogg's Minnesotan too? Does that count? I think we're General Mills.
Yeah, we're General Mills. I don't think Kellogg's is. But I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't know either. I'm drinking a Nectaron.
Oh,
Nectaron 3030 DDH hazy IPA from Head Flyer Brewing. Should have read before this. It's good. It's
one to two. I should have done it.
No, don't worry about it.
Can't even read.
Just use those beautiful mouth buttons you got.
My mouth button. I can't believe how many were bought here. You guys are crazy.
2,
this is
4,
insane.
6, 8, 10. So 10. So we at least have three casts worth. If somebody can do 2 more, we'll be a full month out.
I'm sure.
Just saying that'll match up. Or, I mean, after this week, we can start maybe thinking about 4 just to make it even.
You don't want to go to the dentist tomorrow and just Ralph all over them. I mean,
right. I don't want that, especially like it's not fully healed and it was infected, and so all that stuff.
I don't think they would enjoy
it's healing.
that very much.
It's healing, but they're not going to be happy with me if I go in smelling like booze.
Oh, so Cindy was like, you know, she made those ribs tonight. We used the ginger beer. She's like,
yeah.
What I should have done was grabbed your Malort and put it in there. It's like, how dare you know? But how interesting would that have been? Like, it tasted, would it taste like that guy that does the Malort shot stuff? Like, what if it ruined a $16 rack of ribs because it just tasted like
right?
But what if it was amazing? What if that's how Malort should be used? We'll never know.
That's not how that would work. I would not. I got real excited. I thought we had a sex spot going.
We haven't had a sex spot for a little bit. My bukkake does that every once
I think we could get it tonight. I think we can get it tonight. There's a lot of action here.
Yeah, there is a lot of people.
Yeah, I don't think Malort. You know what?
Takes away the banana. Takes it away.
It does?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a little hint of it.
I think if we were going to bake or maybe like a pot roast, like maybe some type of beef with like beans, I can see it being all right with beans, if that makes sense.
Is it something that we need to bring to SmithCon? Like we just crock pot of Malort of something?
I don't think so.
And see if people want to eat it. I might do some taste testing with some. It sounds really bad.
There's this guy on the TikToks that I've seen that he puts like different things in gin for like a week, and then he tries it. It doesn't matter what it is or what it like. He put like a pepper jack cheese in gin, and he just like basically was barfing. I feel like if he could do that with Malort, that'd be great.
I'm not liking this banana. Like every time I burp, it's banana and Malort mixed together.
Now you're going to be wasting the Finnegans. Don't do that.
I have nowhere.
Just keep on cutting it. Keep on cutting
until it's just. I'll tell you this. I'm not making it a second one. Okay, so this is a Magic the Gathering Commander podcast.
We have definitely spent 15 minutes on nothing.
We're also going to go over the results. We're going to go over the results of the tournament. We get our 3 rock monorock tournament.
That one shot of Malort really sent us off track.
Well, the one it was just ka-ching, ka-ching. Everybody's buying the damn shots. Okay. All right. So. Yeah, I don't think we need to talk about anything else. I mean, you went to Lutzen again this past weekend.
No, we're
some
good.
Family stuff.
Kids survived. They had a lot of fun.
Survived. That's good. Is there still a lot of snow up there, or?
Yeah. It was better than when we were up there 2 weeks ago. Like 2 weeks ago was icy as hell.
Yeah.
This time it was good. It was fine. Yeah.
Okay, let's get to some stuff and some things. As you notice, Lowry is wearing a sweet shirt. Show him your shirt, Lowry. I don't think it's that sweet, but it's hashtag Team Forest Walk. I'm wearing
hashtag Team Forest Walk.
Welcome. Whoops, the other side. Welcome to the Meat Forest t-shirt. So we are working on these. These will become available to buy very, very soon. Colby got one in there too.
What's 10?
Oh, 10 is regular. So
10 is a regular? All
is
right.
a regular
All right.
shot. Unless if he pops it up to 5, then we add a Malort on there. So, but yeah, 10
You
is
didn't
a
need to tell him that.
Well, he said Malort meatballs on it, so I'm oh, maybe the $10 he wants us to make Malort meatballs. God damn, that would be gross. That would be really gross.
I think like meatballs with like a Malort barbecue sauce.
Oh, come
Maybe.
on.
Maybe.
If we had better access to Malort, I would be more willing to like dabble in some different things. But I feel like because Malort is like, it's like a precious commodity. We have to smuggle it in, and we've had Doji send us some, and you have to check your liquor store and buy them out when they have it, because they only have like 2 at a time. When you get there, you pretty much buy them out.
However, it's one row as far back as they will allow it, which is, I think, 4 bottles.
I bet you they go to like when they're buying the shipment, they're like, who the fuck buys this shit? I guess we'll just keep ordering 3 because they just disappear.
Just have it on the shelf.
Okay, let's get to the actual cast here. But like I mentioned,
what are we doing?
We have these shirts that we'll give you guys more details as we get things solidified here. We're trying to work out some discounts and all that to try to get as cheap as possible so people can buy these shirts. And there's a ton. We got so many different. I didn't realize until we started writing down like the quotes that we could use. We have a lot of stupid quotes, but we have a lot of them that are pretty good on T-shirts. So.
We got a lot of stupid.
Got a lot of stupid quotes, but we got them. But yeah, so we got the 3 Rock Monorock tournament. We're going to talk about that at the end. That takes the place of Staple Versus. So no Staple Versus tonight. We're at 17 minutes, so we're probably going to hit 2 hours. That's just my guess. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think we will. I don't think we will. I'm confident. I mean, you're talking again, so maybe we will.
Maybe we will. I noticed last week's. I really enjoyed last week's podcast when I was editing.
You didn't
when I wasn't talking. Yeah. I was like, this sounds like a legitimate podcast now.
No, we needed both of us in there. You were just ventriloquist talking. It was funny, like. All right, let's get to this. All right, so you can support this podcast by becoming a patron, like our new patrons this week. We have 2 new patrons. It's been crazy. We've had a 3-week, a 2-week, a 3-week, and now a 2-week again. So you're getting a lot of patrons stacking up. Pretty awesome.
You guys are awesome.
So this week, our 2 new patrons. Larry, get the button ready because I have to pronounce name. But I got Scott. I got Scott ready. But I think it's Hedgney. Hedgney. I think so.
She can't even read.
That's not a last. It might be.
Hedgney, maybe? No, maybe it's Hedgney. And Crux of Fate. That one's easy. It's a magic card, but
welcome to a meat forest.
Welcome.
That sounds like a fairy tale of a meat forest.
You can become patrons.
You're just rubbing your nipple when you did that?
Well, they're down here. They're on the sides of the...
Yeah,
it's right on the edges of saggy boobs. You son of a bitch!
Who said that? It's actually Josh just came up with a really good idea. Like whoever buys a shirt, we'll take a shot of Malort.
Oh, do you think that's a good idea? I don't think that's a good idea.
I don't know about a shot of Malort.
We do need something with just Malort on it. Like I should write that down.
Write it down.
Malort shirt idea. Okay. All right. Got to work on that too. Okay. So you can become a patron just like our 2 this week by donating $1 or more to Patreon, or actually to us on Patreon. That gets you into the Discord, gets you chatting with us, gets you playing games if you so choose. Otherwise, you're just chatting with everybody else on the Discord. It's not just you're chatting with us. It's everybody that's involved there. We have, I think there's 70 plus, 80 plus people that are on the Discord. Not all 80 are chatting all at the same time, but there's people there. It's good.
They're there.
It's good. If you so choose, you can also support the show. Oh, I should say, if you get higher on the tiers, you can get proxies each month. And the higher you move up as a patron, you can get foil proxies, which this last month, I just posted those last week. We had the new Elish Norn Mom, Skitherix. Ibukaki request was Conjurer's Closet with the Monsters Inc. monsters, which was pretty sweet. I like that one. And then my favorite, like every once in a while, I'll hit ones where I'm just like, oh, this is a fucking home run. Fable the Mirror Breaker. That one looks awesome. Like, and it's a flip card, so on each side, I made it so it looked like the glass is breaking across all the text box and everything. So it looks pretty damn sweet. So that's kind of the patron perk stuff that you can get each month if you move up in the donations and all that. But another way you can support the show is do like everybody's fucking doing tonight and make us take shots on the live cast. That is, you're making us do things, but you're also supporting the show. Yes, it sucks that we're taking these shots, but it's fun to see us tortured. I guess. I mean, it's why we have these people that are doing this to us. But I mean, it does support things. It keeps things going, gives the prizes away and all that stuff, helps get us new equipment whenever we need it. So thank you guys so much for that. Even though we hate it, we love it at the same time. So, but those are the financial ways to support the show. The free way to support the show is to jump on YouTube and subscribe. We still have the 1K giveaway. We're getting really fucking close. Here's a couple of pointers I want to say. We're five entries away from opening up so we just need 5 comments. Anybody that's on here right now that hasn't entered for all the prizes there, jump on the video, which is linked right below on this video. I actually have a finger that's pointing down saying click this link to enter. If we get 5 of them on there, it opens up the played stuff that are high priced in value. So there's some really good stuff there. And then we only have one more besides the main 1,000 subscriber thing, and that's the Street Fighter Secret Lair. So we're 40, I think. Josh,
45.
We're like 45 or 44 subs away from hitting 1,000. Right. And then we start doing the giveaway. So we're really freaking close. So if you haven't subscribed, if you're listening right now or watching, if you're watching, then you probably have subscribed. But if you're listening right now, subscribe, jump on YouTube. It helps us. And it also gets us closer to that goal. Some things on YouTube we also had last week was I had Spotlight with Uratet. I did the proxy time. Lowry, you had curated MTG on Friday. Do you remember what curated MTG was?
Evershrike. It is 3 and Orzov for a 3/5 or 3/3 flyer. Well, like the CMC doesn't really matter. Right. So the cool thing about it is you can pay X. X is the cost of an aura that you want to put into play, and then Orzov, and you can take Evershrike from the graveyard into play with the aura on it, and you can do that if it's in the graveyard type thing. It's a really cool card, kind of niche. It's very niche, actually, very niche. So if you're in a black-white X aura deck, it's really cool, and so sweet. I suggest checking it out. It's from Eventide, I believe, but very cool card.
So big things of that. That's a short. Make sure you watch those. Give it a like. That's how you guys can keep that going. Get all the views and all that whatever stuff. The Commander Smith viral stuff. So the proxy stuff was a short as well. I also have what card gets you hard. I think I'll be doing that this week. Last week I did box opening, 10 boxes. So check that video out too. 10 boxes of the completed bundles.
So the oil slick foils.
Yeah.
How do they look? Like I've only seen the pictures. Clearly,
they look really good. The textured part. Let's see. There is Mondrak. That's the most expensive one. I did not get Elish Norn or Atraxa. I did not get those in my. I got them in the regular, but not as oil slick. So,
okay.
Yeah. So I got Elish Norn and a couple of Traxas as regular cards, but not not the oil slick.
Like I saw enough MILF comments, and I was like, oh, sweet,
got it. No, but I did not get that. But I did open. Excuse me. Walmart had. Geez, it's the banana that's getting my throat all. Ugh. Walmart had a good deal that, what was it? Aku pointed out on the Discord for $80, picked up those and opened them all up. And so now I'm going to.
Why would you call him Aku?
Isn't that what his name is?
It's AJ.
No, it wasn't AJ.
Yeah, that's AJ.
It was AHKOO was the one that did that posted that one. Right? What? No, you're gonna have to tell me why you're doing this at the end. Tell me at the end of the cat. I'm gonna write this down so it remind me. Okay.
I don't even know what's going on.
I'm just going by his name on the what we have him on the Discord. All right, fine.
I mean, I might be wrong. I doubt it.
Oh, It was, if you're talking about Hawaiian AJ, it wasn't that AJ that posted that one. Is that what you're talking about? Hawaii AJ? All right, cool story, bro. All right, we'll keep going. So anyways, there's unboxing videos. You can check those out. Just a ton of stuff on YouTube. The gameplay stuff and all that stuff there. You can also follow us on Twitter. I mean, you can. No one does.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I wouldn't.
We're
over 300 again.
Yeah, we are. We've been
around 300 for about 2 years.
We're 3 times the amount of followers or subscribers on YouTube. And then, I should mention TikTok is another place we're at. We're TikTok. Yeah. Here's the crazy thing. TikTok, we started a year ago, and it's about to surpass our YouTube stuff. Like our followers there to YouTube stuff. So it's kind of crazy there. But check us out on TikTok as well. And Twitter you can. But you can direct messages there. Or you can direct message us by shooting us an email at commandersmiths@gmail.com. And that is where you can send the suggestions for this. It's time for everyone's favorite game show, Stump the Smith Savant. Malordy.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, get the juices flowing. All right, if you guys don't know how this game works, I'm going to ask I'm going to read the flavor text. I'm going to ask yes or no questions. I'm going to read the flavor text of a card, and Lowry's going to try to guess the card by asking yes or no questions. Every yes, you'll hear this.
Hello, boobies.
Every no, you'll hear this.
Wrong.
He will get up to 5 wrong guesses before he is considered stumped. He gets up to 3 clues. If Lowry can get everything about the card without knowing what the card is, he will get the initials of the card. If he has a bonus clue left over, he'll get a bonus extra clue that should give it away. The card has to be in at least 10,000 EDH rec decks. This week's Stumper is a patron. It is Demonic Mango, and we need to take our Malort shot. Oh, our giveaway is Ember Cleave, and you have the other guy?
So it's Venerated Priest.
Venerated Rot Priest. And if Lowry does not get stumped today, we will be adding a 3rd card in next week. And then the other last thing is chat has been eliminated, so Lowry cannot see the chat. If Lowry doesn't get stumped, the person that was trying to stump him can send us a signed card that does go on the wall over there. Lowry's wall.
What card would that be this week?
I almost said something, but not really. I wasn't really falling for it, but my mouth moved. That's all it did. Mouth moved. All right. Here is Malort number 2. This one's Josh.
Josh.
Thank you, sir.
Wait until next week.
Yeah, next week. Get ready. Why is this our thing?
So
it's a
gross.
stupid thing to have.
It's a stupid thing. This is my fault.
This is your fault.
This is my fault.
I don't want to drink this banana beer.
Oh.
Ugh. All right.
Missing a week sucks.
Yeah, it does. We're not used to it at this point. All right. I should pull up the card here. I don't ever pull up the card ahead of time because. Ugh.
Which card is that?
Stop it. All right, so the chat can play along and see if they can beat Lowry to the punch. I will let you guys know if you're on track and let you know if you guys get it. All right, here we go. This is the flavor text this week. It's kind of shortish, but you got it. Here we go. It's a helm that leaves the head at its most vulnerable. It's a helm that leaves the head at its most vulnerable.
All right, so let's go with is this an artifact?
Hello, boobies.
Okay. Is this an equipment?
Wrong.
Okay. All right, I'll take a first clue, please.
This is kind of a two-parter because I know you're not going to get this first. But people in the chat might get this one. The art features a man that looks like a clicker from The Last of Us. You haven't seen The Last of Us, so let's give Lowry a clue. The art features a gold helm that covers half of a man's face. Renshai, did the my first clue give it away? Renshai says he has it. He's going to let other people try to see if they can get it too. Give me the initials there, Renshai.
God, he's so good at this. Oh man, he is a man.
Ibukaki said something Bing would say. I like when those two are on together because they go back and forth with it.
Okay, can I get my clue again, please?
The first one or the second one? Your clue? Your specific clue?
Yeah, my clue, because that first one doesn't mean anything.
The art features a gold helm that covers half of a man's face.
So, like, it could be up, but that's probably not a helm. A helm is like top down, so half could either be like this or like that. Not. It's an artifact, but it's not an equipment, which is kind of throwing me here.
It's a helm that leaves the head at its most vulnerable.
Right. That's the neck. That's got to be the neck. So it's not covering the neck in my mind, or poking the eyes, but more than likely it's the neck. I don't know if that matters at all, other than trying to visualize it. Golly. The only thing in my mind would be like Theros, the dead have those golden masks, but I think it's the whole thing. I'll take a second clue.
The text features sacrifice for control. The text features sacrifice for control.
Oh. Okay. I think I have an idea for this. Do you So it could be, that's not a helm though, but I mean like that's so vague. Is this card pre Time Spiral?
I can't answer that one. I don't know. I think so. I'm going to give you this, but I'm not 100% positive on that.
Is it an older border? I guess that maybe that's a clearer answer.
Older border.
So is it like brown versus gray? So like, is it a brown border?
Wrong.
Okay, that puts me off of what I was thinking it would be. So it's what was the second clue again?
The text features sacrifice for control. The first, I'll give you both clues again. The art features a man that looks like a clicker from The Last of Us. Or a Lowry clue, the art features a gold helm that covers half of a man's face. The flavor text is, it's a helm that leaves the head at its most vulnerable.
Sacrifice for control. So so there is like an old artifact. That's why I was thinking the brown. So you are able to sacrifice a creature and gain control of like an opponent's creature. That is potentially what's going on here. You're sacrificing a creature for control. You know, you're leaving yourself vulnerable, which could mean that you're like taking somebody's creature. Control could also mean like counterspell, or, you know, like a control player. It seems unlikely. Is this a colorless artifact?
Hello, boobies.
Okay, so we know it's an artifact. What's the second clue again?
The text features sacrifice for control.
Sacrifice for control.
You might need that third clue. It might help you get on the path a little bit.
Yeah, I'll take that third clue, please.
This card is in 10,500 EDH rec deck, so it's just over our amount. It's in 25% of Centriplets decks and was first printed in Mirrodin. Yep, Paul got it with the name there. So Wrench, I had the right thing. He gave me the initial. Paul got the actual name.
Nice job, Paul. Nice job, Renshai. Proud of you. So it was in Mirrodin.
Mm-hmm. It has been. I'll give you a couple, like one last part of it. It was in Mirrodin. It's been printed in Scars of Mirrodin and the Mystery Booster.
Oh. Okay. I'm there. I don't know the name.
I know what it is. I don't know the name.
Oh.
Should I play the button? It's time for everyone's favorite game show.
I know what it is. I just don't know the name. All right. So 6 mana.
Hello, boobies.
The hell is the name of this card? It's so mean, and of course Renshai would know it. Okay, so this is 4 to activate.
Hello, boobies.
Tap, sacrifice itself.
Hello, boobies.
There's your sacrifice.
You get to gain control of somebody, the target player's next turn.
Hello, boobies.
The initials are. Oh wait, nope. You got to give me one more. Oh no, you already knew it was artifact, so you're good. The initials are M.
That's just
M.
That's just an initial.
Yep.
There's no S at the end of that.
Nope.
All
the
right.
Initial.
Fine.
Z.
The
Initial.
initial M. Oh, shit. That doesn't help. Okay. All right. Let's put us there. I see it. I see it. What's the other art? I feel like Professor X right now. Just trying to think. Academy
Interesting,
Ruins
Seth.
brings it back, puts it on top, then you do it over again. Beat 10. What is it? And I don't get that fourth clue because I asked for the third one, but I definitely needed that third one.
Yeah, that third one was the helper. I made the other ones more tougher because I thought you might get it from the flavor text, so I made everything else more difficult. So then that's like
Yeah, no, I understand that. I should have known it actually. It's solid because this is all right.
Seth is saying, I don't want to get you off track. I'll talk about it after what Seth wrote. He was saying that another cast is doing the similar this bit, which is interesting. Same bit.
M.
Just one M.
You're right.
Just one of them.
Sorry.
All right, let me run through everything again. The flavor text. It's a helm that leaves the head at its most vulnerable. Clue number 1. The art features a man that looks like a clicker from The Last of Us. Actually, a Lowry clue. The art features a gold helm that covers half of a man's face. The text features sacrifice for control. You figured that out. And this card is in 10,000 EDH rec decks. It's in 25% of Centriplet decks and first printed in Mirrodin. Also in Scars of Mirrodin and the mystery boosters. And the initial is M.
Oh my goodness. All right, I'm going to go do it again. All right. So 4 to tap it, sacrifice it, gain control of target player's next turn.
Yep.
6 mana artifact. That almost, it looks like a party helmet almost.
It looks like a clicker from The Last of Us.
I don't know what that means.
And the funny thing is, what this card does is kind of what a clicker does in The Last of Us. I wrote that as a note to talk about afterwards, to be like, it's kind of crazy what this card does. It reminds me so much of The Last of Us.
I don't know why I can't think of this, and it's very frustrating.
You only have 2 wrong at this point, so you have 3 more to go.
But I mean, like,
Josh says Lowry needs another shot. Do you want another shot to think about this a little bit? 3 shots before we even get to the main segment?
Let's do it. Let's do a third one.
All right, at least we're doing something while you're thinking. Josh, Josh is still on too. He's been chiming in with everything. He's the one that said Lowry needs another shot. Josh brought up a good point. He said, would it make you more nervous to have a timer? If we had a timer at the bottom, ooh, that would be bad, wouldn't it?
No, it wouldn't. There wouldn't be any. Okay, so here would be the thing with a timer is we would just turn this into read 1, 2, and 3. Like, I wouldn't guess in between. I wouldn't try and get it beforehand. I would just go, give me the first, second, and third clue, so that I at least have all the information that I could.
Yeah.
So it would change.
Yeah.
So that would be.
Which is kind of nice. The cool thing about it is having you try to guess with only one clue or just the flavor text. So, yeah, I agree with that. All right. And
Josh, there we go.
Mango is on. Quinn is on.
Brain juice.
Fuck that. That drink is done. Drink is done for the night. No more of you. Ugh. Get it away.
Fuck.
Chase
Kind
it.
of helps. All right, give me a second.
Ugh. I don't taste the banana at all.
Okay, I need to. It's
Josh keeps going. 4-shot cast. 4-shot cast.
all right. So it's something lock. All right. So it did help me. Okay, this is a something lock. It is get me there. Get me there.
The initial is M.
M something lock. It is
It's a lot of fun seeing your hand motions.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it's just I wish I had it's a jerk off move. That's what it is. Oh man, that's terrible. It is just trying to get it.
Yeah. Got it. Demonic Mango. Quinn might win the cards. Lowry just needs to make some guesses.
I don't have anything in my head. That's the problem. I know it's something lock. And that's proper. You can have Renshai confirm, because does that mean anything to you?
What?
Something lock, M something lock.
What do you mean Renshai confirm?
Renshai would know it. It's the card name lock. And
You're saying lock is in the name?
It's the term for it.
Oh, I gotcha.
So it's, I'm going to blank lock you. I'm going to, God, I'm so close.
So close. Lowry's so close. There's hints I could give, but I can't. If you had bonus stuff.
I know you can't.
If you had bonus stuff left. And Renshai just confirmed what you were saying. But the funny thing is the lock is, it's the something, the name of the card lock. So it's
right. But that it's like it's at least like a memorization technique.
Let me give you a bonus clue. Ready? M lock.
Thanks. Thanks.
Matt wrote Mentos lock.
How about this? The second letter, is it an E?
Wrong.
Okay, so that's 3 wrong.
Yes, you got 2 more. Ibukaki, edging Lowry is my favorite Lowry. So close. I'm so close. No.
All right, pull it back. Calm down. Gil. Okay, so this is
why this cast is going to be 2 hours long, Lowry.
You said it wasn't going to be 2 hours, so it's clearly not my fault. It's your fault.
It's going to be 2
No,
hours long.
you just said that you tried to give me harder clues. This is your fault.
Because I thought you'd get there quicker with the
Thanks.
Sorry.
Thanks. I have stamina. That's one of the better qualities of me. Is the second letter, so A-E-I-O-U. A makes the most sound. Is the second letter an A?
Wrong.
Okay. All right, 4. So it's not ma. It's not me.
It'd be crazy if you pull this off now. While you're thinking, I'm gonna go one more time through this. Okay. It's a helm that leaves the head at its most vulnerable. First clue: the art features a gold helm that covers half of a man's face. Text features sacrifice for control. This card is in 10,000 EDH rec decks. It's in 25% of Send triplets decks, and it's first printed in Mirrodin. Sorry, I was reading Parks.
Stop! I'm trying to concentrate. You just laugh. How about you be a little bit more supportive? I know that I've wasted like 10 minutes at this point. I am so sorry. Why?
Parks is saying he got his bundle today, and Seth got his bundle. They both got swords in them. Swords are pretty sweet. What? Who just? Oh, Josh Lowry. Oh, I'm not reading it because he. Oh shit! Don't read it. Don't read it. Don't look at that. Don't look what he just wrote.
You know I can't read.
Okay. It was very small. I like covered my screen to like make it so you couldn't read it. I don't know how that was.
Okay, so that was 30?
Yeah, it was a 30. Oh, that's funny. All right. Lowry, you just got to throw out a guess. Either way, we're having a new card next week. It would have been nice if we got 3, but
that would have been nice.
Quinn, you're going to get some cards here if Lowry can't pull it off in the next, I'm going to give you 10 seconds. 9. 8,
You motherfucker.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I don't know it.
Did mind help you?
No. Fuck. Mindslaver.
Oh!
Ah!
Oh, there it is. Mindslaver.
So disappointing. Nice job. Nice job. Shit.
So I thought, because this seemed like, I thought you would get it with the description of the art, so that's why I made the clues a lot more difficult. But then it made it so you couldn't get the bonus extra clue, because I would have added something with your head and thinking and all that stuff. But all right, congratulations, Mr. Demonic Mango. Quinn, you win both those cards, buddy. You guys can submit. We will have a new card, probably around $10, as our new one for next week. We will do drawing. Hang on a second.
God, that was a good one. Such a good one. Because it's not a card that I would play either. I don't even know where mine is. Now that I'm thinking about it, I haven't seen it in a long time.
I had like 4 or 5 of them when we played 60 card decks.
Yeah.
Because I was using that with like Lux Cannon deck. It was like a control douchebag deck.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think I'm down to my one that the one that I have. I got rid of. I listed the other ones, but yeah, I've never been able to. I don't think pull it off necessarily. All right, so next
not the lock.
Next week, no, not the lock. I'm not that douchey. Renshai, just kidding. It is Matt the Monorock. We've had Matt do this before. Matt is our stumper for next week. You guys can send your submissions to.
He's pretty good at this.
Myself, either on Discord if you're a part of the Discord, or you can shoot us. There it is. Oh, you got the other one, the one with the green, the OG. The one that does
art, but from the
one that does not have a flavor text to it. So Matt, we'll announce what we're going to be giving away next week. So it'll be around a $10 card. So again, you can send it if you're part of the Discord. Shoot me a direct message if you have suggestions. I'll get you entered in the drawing. And then if you are not a part of the Discord, just shoot us an email at commandersmiths@gmail.com. Lowry does not check that, so don't tweet it, which no one tweets us anyway, so it's fine. It's whatever. All right, so let's talk about sex, baby. Oh, you know what? I do have the... I just want to hit this button for no reason at all.
Stop. My penis can only get so erect.
We didn't hit it at all last week, and I like that one. But here's the real button.
Perhaps play a little game called Just a Tip. Just for a second, just to see how it feels. Or, ouch, ouch, you're on my hair.
Let's pull up some 5-color commanders. Well, let's do your Kenrith. Oh, well, I guess I'm talking... The reason why it came up was Uratet. We'll start with Uratet.
Let's do Uratet, yeah.
Okay. Whoops, that was not Uratet. Nope. Uratet. There we go. Let's do the full art.
Guy.
Okay, so...
Did you switch it to the full art version?
Hell yeah, I did. That's what I said. Is the full art guy. Like the full art guy. The flart guy. You got to do that. That's the way to go.
You're right.
Okay. I did add you in, Ibukaki. You are in the drawing. I'm not going to waste time and show you. I will take a snapshot and show you later.
Plenty of that.
Yeah, we haven't cracked an hour yet. Don't worry. We're good, baby. Okay, so 5-color decks. What are some of the issues when it comes to 5-color deck? When's the last time you built Kenrith? Is that your last 5-color deck?
No, so I built a Captain Sasay Street Fighter 5-color over the summer, fallish. And so some of the things that and Josh wants to talk slivers, but okay, here
slivers are a different monster. Like that's just a monster in itself. Like what do you do? You just stop it, Josh. We took our 3. Lowry's going
right now.
If Lowry wasn't going to the dentist tomorrow,
I would have.
We would do it. We'll do it. Maybe we'll do a 4-shot Tuesday. We'll see how Lowry's feeling after the vacation stuff.
Next week?
Yeah, 4-shot Tuesday.
I think that'd be okay.
Yeah, so we'll see there. But today is just not going to work because of him going and all that stuff. If you want
me,
you can buy beans.
What are you doing?
I'm just saying.
What are you doing?
Look what you did, you little jerk.
Yeah, I can't wait until we get them smelling salts, and then he'll be like, "You can always do that."
I think I really want to add that in, but I don't. I got to test it first to see
how long does it work? I don't. How long? Like,
I've never done.
Like if we do it right away, am I going to be up until like fucking 5 a.m? Like that's what I'm worried about.
I don't know. I have no idea.
All right.
That's something that's in the works. Is I don't know if people would even be interested to see us take smelling salts, but yeah, it would suck. Take it right before the end of the cast where we're up for the next like 5 hours.
Right.
After that.
I don't want that. I don't want it. Have to be right at the beginning of a 2-hour cast.
Right before Stump the Smith Savant. Woo!
That could be interesting.
Up on
that could be an interesting spot right there. Okay, so my biggest issue with 5-color decks is the mana base. That is my big point. Last time we played Wrench, I was like, how's it feel to have a perfect mana base? I could have a perfect mana base. I don't make my proxies like I ask for Adam and I only do it like 2-3 times a year. And so it ends up being like big. Yeah, it's a lot at once, but I don't do it all the time. And so I don't necessarily have the resources still to just go like 10 duels, 10 fetches, 10 shocks, and then fill in some basics and maybe some applicable utilities. And so generally the Street Fighter deck, I had a lot of like Khans and Shards of Alara tri-lands that came into play tap, just making sure I had a handful of fetches, a handful of duels, and most of it was like ETB tricolored lands. And my Kenrith deck is based around basic lands coming into play. And so I went heavy on that, which allowed, plenty of like ramp search.
How many were you using?
And basics and Kenrith. So generally I use 12, and that one I have like 16 to 18.
Oh. Yeah,
right. But like I have cards that are like New Frontiers. Everybody goes and gets X amount of basics. And then there's a lot of everybody goes and fetches basics. And so I want to be able to get enough basics to take advantage of that. And I feel like I'm forcing everybody else to run out of basics. That's kind of the idea there.
Josh is getting to the point, the triomes. I don't know if I want to jump to that part yet. You're talking about the lands.
And that's my biggest problem.
Right.
Just so, because normally I'm running somewhere in between 16 and 20 decks. And so am I willing to take away my resources?
Good for you.
It's just what I'm willing to. It's just what the card sleeves that have survived for the last 15 years that's around. And so for me, the question ends up being, do I want to take resources away from other decks that I'm potentially building or am building or do have to make this 5-color deck? Or do I either find a way around it, or do I just not build it, stay away from 5-color?
Okay.
Because there are a lot of different land choices that can go into that, or go cheap and just understand that it's my casual deck, like the Street Fighter one.
So let's put a pause to the land part, because I think the land part is the most important part.
Hashtag Team Force Walk.
Get out of here, Josh. Get out of here, Lowry. Stop it, both of you. Because I think that is my biggest tip in what you were saying right there. I can piggyback on it, but that's really, I wanted to get into the tips. The problems, or maybe do we want to start with the tips in the beginning? Just the tips in the beginning, and then get to some of the issues that you can run into. Because you already started. You already started the lands. Let's just keep going with it. We're winging it. We didn't have. I'm not
100% sure what you're talking about, but
no, I think the lands is the most important thing. So what I ran into, I'm just going to piggyback what you're saying there.
I've clearly ruined the structure of the segment.
Well, we didn't have a lot of time because your computer was being.
I was pooping, and then my computer was having issues. My fault.
No, it's not your fault. It's technology because. Or wait, plug in.
It's the pooping part. Yeah.
And
I'm just getting back to eating normal, and my body, I poop like 3 times a day. So,
so we spent.
I think
up
that just
until
means I eat too much.
A minute
but-
before the podcast starting, and we didn't even discuss what we were gonna do. Like we knew what we were doing, we just didn't have like a format. So I'll piggyback on it. Okay, so yes, lands are the most important thing when it comes to the decks. We're gonna get into the cons secondary. What I found with, at least with Uritet, all the mirrors they're monoroks built in on themselves. So that's the easy part with Uritet. What I actually ended up finding out is I haven't used Triumphs before until this deck. And Triumphs are fucking fantastic. Like, no, they really are really good when you're able to have a mix of untapped lands and tapped lands. So here's what I had is
right. I agree.
Triomes, duels, shocks, and fetches are your 4 important things. You don't need all 4 of them. You need fetches. So that is the key in this. You need at least 5. I only have 5 fetches in this deck, but I have 2 of the ramps, which included, where is it? 3 visits and Nature's Lore are cards because you're searching for a forest card. You're not looking for a basic, so you can find the fetches or the triomes. But if you don't have the duels, totally fine. Have the shocks. If you have that option of them coming into play untapped, you can play it situational. So my suggestion is if you have the duels, you play all 10 duels. And then I did all 5 of the green triomes plus 2 more because I did 7. And if you don't have the duels, all 10 shocks, because to have that option to have them come into play untapped is so key in this, because you're trying, especially in this deck, Uritet, you need all 5 colors to do Uritet's thing. Like that's the thing that it does. You need to make sure that you're balancing it out right. If you have a 5-color deck, like I would say Kenrith is a little different because you don't need to have all 5 to do Kenrith's ability. You can do
right.
The your most important thing is, what is your most important thing with Kenrith?
So I changed it around a little bit lately since it was for the Lutzen thing, but initially it was gaining life.
Okay.
And so the thought was have Zozu the Punisher type cards that punish everybody. But then I'm gaining life, and then I had like Sign in Blood or cards that drain life whenever I gain life or somebody else gain life, and you can target people with it. And so that was the main focus. I took out that life gain thing, and I'm more focusing on just lands coming into play and how many people have lands, like Price of Progress that I did to you over Lutzen and stuff like that. So try to focus in more on that, but I haven't adjusted my basic sense.
Okay.
And so that's what I was going to ask about Uritet. I haven't seen I guess I have seen your list, but I haven't thought about it beyond what we were talking about, not necessarily your land base, but with Myrrh, they're mostly artifacts. And so technically you don't have to worry about your land, but you do because of the activated ability and the cards that you're adding in. Now that's here and in mine as well with Kenrith, but you can focus in on some colors. Right. Is that something that you considered?
Well, so green, whenever I've done this before, like when I did Scion of the Ur-Dragon, or the original Ur-Dragon one. It's Scion of the Ur-Dragon, right? Is that the right one? My focus was green on that side because green is just, obviously, green is the way to fix your mana, is the best thing to the two mana fetching things.
AJ, can we get a meme of Mandalorian saying green is the way?
Green is the way. And then
I'd love that.
Josh's sliver comment is about to pop up here in a second. So green is typically the easiest way to, with your focus, like if you're having to choose something to go a little bit heavier on, it's green to get your mana base figured out, because you can use your Birds of Paradise, or Birds of Paradise is not in this deck, but I'm just saying, like, a lot of times you'll use cards like that. I do have the Elysian Grove dude in there, so things that are fixing my mana to be every color. But what I did was the triomes actually became very important because, like I mentioned before, the duels and the triomes are the only two. I don't have shocks because you don't have enough mana. That's the problem that sucks with that part is when you do all 10 duels and then you do 7 of the triomes, that's 17. Then you add your 5 fetches. You're at 22. Then you add in your commander or command tower. And I was only able to fit in like 3 other utility lands. So that's the part that gets a little tough with the 5 color is you're mana fixing. You're not utility land. I mean, I don't count fetches as that. I know they are, but I consider that as part of my normal base. They're always in 5 of them are in every single deck. And so it's weird because normally I have about 10 to 15 utility land things, and I don't in this deck because you're trying to make sure that you're properly mana based, and that is the key with a 5 color deck is if you don't have if you don't have duels, if you don't have shocks, get your shocks. If you don't have fetches, get your fetches. Those 2 are the most important budget things in a way. Budget, although I would say fetches are very cheap. Since Modern Horizons 2, they have come down quite a bit in prices.
Again, I'll reiterate, if you haven't gotten fetches, focus on that.
Yes. It's very important, especially when
if your wife is like, why are you distracted? What are you thinking about? You'd be like, I'm thinking about getting these fetches. That's what it should be until you get them.
I like that analogy. Touche.
I'm just saying. I'm serious. Why are you laughing? So obviously we're focusing. I don't know. I haven't put triomes in because have you made proxies of them?
I'm starting to. Yes, that is
okay. My now that you're like, oh, kind of like them.
No, I started them, but they're tough because really quick. Josh said Modern Horizons 2s are cheap. Others not so much. Look out for the Lord of the Rings one that's coming out in a month or 2 or 2 months, May, June. What? Because it's supposed to be a modern set. That might be where we get the other fetches that come in. That is the rumors that are being speculated is we haven't got the other fetches in a while. And that is the spot because this is Modern Horizons 3. So the other ones, they're going to get printed. They're getting printed very soon. It just depends on where. What did you ask me? Malort.
I don't know. Malort.
No, you asked
Malort.
me
Malort.
What were you asking me? Oh, the triomes.
You're making triomes.
I'm doing the synthwave ones, which are very difficult to make as proxies because it's 3
colors.
Yeah, so dividing the picture into 3 is a lot more difficult than everything else I've had to do. So per proxy, per land takes about an hour to an hour and a half. So it's taken me a long time to do this. Anyways, back to what we were just talking about.
I think it's cool. Synthwave lands are a fave of mine and number 2s.
Yeah. Number 2.
And so I'll do triomes in a 3 color deck but I'm mainly 3 color decks. That's where I like to be.
Mm-hmm.
Is there much more you want to talk about lands?
No,
I mean, we good.
I mean, the biggest thing I wrote in with the lands was make sure you have enough like the mono rocks, for example, chromatic lantern, things that are going to fix your land to change into every color. And in the case like we made a mention of Kenrith isn't necessarily it's white to come out and then you do its abilities. You might be focusing on 2 of the abilities. If you have a commander like Uritet where you need to tap the 5 to do it, then it becomes a lot more important to have the 5 different ones. So juggle around, figure out what your best way of doing this is. If you're that way where you need Wooburg to get it out, then I think it becomes more important to get the mana fixing than the others.
And so I guess summarizing, it really depends on your commander a bit.
Right.
But I think in general, you have to be much more conscious of your land base in a 5 color going back to the stream versus a single color. Right. Like single color, you're like, yeah, that's easy. I got my choices. Boom, 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 boom. In 5-color, you should be much more conscious of what you're doing and trying to have a better land base. And if you're trying to go budget, understand that you're trying to go budget. Be conscious about that and just be like, okay, this is my budget 5-color deck. And I don't know if I would even suggest that, because you're already kind of a hodgepodge unless you're playing CEDH. That's always a different beast. But if you're casual, and understand that if you're doing, because like when you're talking about these triomes coming into play tapped, and you have how many? You said 5, right? That you're playing 5?
7.
7? You're going 7? That's a lot for me.
I got wait, you're talking about triomes?
Right.
Yep. So I got 5, all 5 green ones, and then I went with 2 extras to make sure that I was fixing everything right. And the benefit I have is that the mirror, I have 9 or 10 mirror that are mono rocks. So
also true.
Yeah. So I do have a little bit of a benefit there where I can go, okay, this one can come into play tap. The other part about the triomes is the cycling part. When you get them later in the game, I haven't even used it when I've goldfished that yet. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But
I don't know if I really care about that. Like 3's a
yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
3's a lot.
And the thing is you're most likely always going for those. But, turn 1 fetch, and I don't have a 1-drop. I don't even have Soul Ring in my Uritet deck. This is one of 2 decks I've ever built that doesn't have Soul Ring in it, because there's so many mono rocks and all that stuff going in it. So it's just like, well, Soul Ring just doesn't fit.
It's a place that you can cut it. That's a good decision to be making if you feel like it.
Okay, so I think you're good. You're right. Let's move on from the land. So what are some of the problems that people run into when it comes to 5-color decks? Like I don't know if I ask you this because you might not have the problem, but if you think in general, when people see a 5-color deck, what do you think the biggest problem would be that people run into when they start?
I know what you're going to say. And I'll use a little bit of a quick story here, but I used to talk to about him on the cast a lot more, probably 3 years ago. Nah, Nick.
Oh, Nick.
Tenant Nick. Yeah, Tenant Nick. And I used to play with him a lot more when before I had kids, and when he was renting with me, and so like I'd go over and we'd play together, and it was a lot of fun. And he was much more of a budget minded player. And he'd always look at my 3-color decks, go through and go, oh, that's just a good stuff deck. I'm like, you're kind of missing the point, but also not, because I've been on 3 colors for a decade at this point. I love 3-color decks. And when I have 3 colors versus a 2-color versus a 1-color, you just have so many more options at 3 colors. And when you get to 5-color, you can pick every goddamn card you can play.
Yes,
any card you're like, I like this card and that card. And how many cards did you start out with this deck?
240 cards, including lands.
That's a lot. That's a lot of cards to cut down from. And so you're the other thing for 5-color, what we're basically saying is, how do you cut from that?
Josh is ridiculous. You're gonna see.
He's acting like he's already taken some shots on the Lord.
You're gonna get some shots, buddy. You're gonna be all over this Team Forest Walk, you little bastard. No.
Hashtag Team Forest Walk.
Get out of here. The fact that you have, and I remember there was a talk on the Discord, and it's just like, oh, well, 5-color is easy. It's like, no, it's not fucking easy, because what ends up happening is you go, hey, I like using Ristic Study. And actually, Ibukaki made a good point. He said, when he was in on the live stream, he's like, hey, if this is something that you use in all these other decks, just cut it off of this. You have it on these other decks. Like Ristic Study got cut. Smothering Tithe got cut. Like all these cards that I would normally, your staples. And the problem is there's staples in every color. And when you have 5 colors, you just put all the staples in and that's your deck. You just have a staple deck is basically what it can turn into.
And that's what Tenant Nick was talking about. Like, oh, you're just running the same old thing. And I think this is something that Cole has talked about. Like, how do you get away from running the same old stuff in whatever deck you're running? And how did you do it?
Well, cut it. Okay, so
it's just the staples stuff that you've used. You're trying to get away from it.
Actually, it was Ibukaki when he jumped on and was just like, "Hey, you," and he might have been in a joking manner, but was serious at the same point. Was saying,
That's Alex. Yeah.
"Yep, you use this in all these other decks. Why even have it in this?" And I was like, "That's a good point." Off the top of my head, I don't think any of those. Like, I mean, for example, Soul Ring is not in the fucking deck. I do have Sensei's top because that is good at fixing my top. I do have Sylvan Library because it's, for more draw, and I have enough life gain built into that. Not that you need the life gain, but I have that in there. But I might have Smothering Tithe in there because of the treasures giving me any color. Other than that, I took out Rhystic Study. I had Mystic Remora. I had like all your fucking staples. All of them are gone. Like all it's down to is to fitting in with what the theme of the deck is.
Right.
And that's the hard part, though, is when you have 5, you're like, holy shit, I can play Cyclonic Rift, and I can play this, and I can play this. I don't have Cyclonic. I don't have, Crater of Behemoth. I'm playing a lot of creatures. Crater of would be good in this. No, not using that. It's triple green. And it just doesn't fit with the theme that I'm doing because it's if you don't know, we've talked about Uritet, but it's an Uritet Super Friends. So it's a partial, there's 13 to 14 Planeswalkers, which is about 13 to 14 more than anybody else plays Planeswalkers because no one's plays Planeswalkers.
Nobody does it.
Yeah, unless you're blue and you should be playing Teferi, the time, the one that you can do on everybody's turn. Anyways.
And so like when you're talking about this thing, you're oftentimes, and this can apply to any deck that you're building, and I've said it before, but find reasons to cut, not to keep.
Right.
When you're cutting cards. And that can be any goddamn reason that you come up with. And what you're talking about is I have these in other decks. I want to try different cards.
Right.
That can be a reason.
Right.
It's not on theme technically. If I can find something that's on theme, great. In this kind of deck, it depends on which way you want to go. But if you want to focus on the tokens, then you can choose Parallel Lives.
Right.
But this deck would allow something like Doubling Season.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So that was
and Doubling Season, and those are those choices. You could be like, I could do both, but then you're just taking away spots because you're a 5-color deck. You have a lot of options.
Right. So in this one particular, not doing like a deck breakdown, but this is our example that we're using.
Right.
Parallel Lives is not in it. Anointed Procession is not in it. I took out all the doubling token or things that only dealt with one type of thing. So like if it hit 2 things where it was talking about counters and tokens, or if it was talking about Planeswalker stuff and token, like if it had 2 uses, then it got in. So it's really only Doubling Season, Primal Vigor, Vorinclex. There might be one more doubler. I think there's only 4 total doublers because they hit 2 different things. Is it Primal Vigor? That's the right one, right? Where it has the tokens and then the counters. Yeah. So the hard part is like you just want to fit every good thing in there. Staples, let's see, focus. Yeah, okay.
Do you feel like cutting those staples makes your deck more casual?
No. The funny thing is, I didn't like the deck after I finished streaming. Like I didn't like it. I went to bed and I woke up the next morning and actually got up an hour earlier than the kids were for getting ready for school.
You had your mind going. I had my mind going last night. I know what you mean.
Yeah. And so I got up and I went over and I started like moving things around, whatever. Not a lot of tweaks, but I moved things around enough. And then I actually texted you and I was like, hey, I'm not liking this. You said you would check it out. I don't even know if I asked you to check it out, but you're like, yeah, I'll check it out. And really your only ad was you have enough of your mirror stuff, add some more. Your Planeswalkers need to be the big guns that you play later, late game stuff. Right. So get your Ugin in there to get rid of everybody else's shit. And so I popped in both Ugins. I took both of them out early and I popped them both in. I know you meant the big Ugin, but I think both of them are pretty decent in
well,
it for removal.
Okay, so in what I specifically, or I try and not be too specific. Just when I'm doing deck suggestions, I try and be general because I don't want to take over building the deck, right? And that's for people in our Discord or the Exiled. And so the thing is like, okay, Urtet and your Mer come down early to mid game. The ability is a mid game thing, and all of your Planeswalkers were a mid game
to late
part.
Game. Yeah.
And so they were competing with the ability part. And so all I was saying was, if you put your Planeswalkers at the top end, is when they come down, huge things happen. That creates that separation within when things are happening, and then you're not just wanting to do the ability. Because if that's what you wanted your deck to do, then that's what you would concentrate on.
Right.
But you wanted Planeswalkers in there for reasons. It doesn't matter whatever anybody wants to do that. And so creating reasons why you have something in there, again, why do you want to cut it? Why do you want to keep it? All of these, it can be whatever the reason you want it to be. But the thing is having a reason for it to be there. And what are you competing against within your deck? And so if you get fat in the early game, that's your mirrors. And that makes a ton of sense, right? And then when your Planeswalkers are competing with the ability, then you're making that choice of, do I want to make the Mer bigger, or do I want to play Planeswalkers? And what you can do is just separate that and go, I'm going to ability, make it bigger, untap, they're huge, boom, boom, boom. And then you get to the point where they are a threat. You can drop your Ugin or your Liliana Dreadhorde General, or, something that controls the board, or something that you want to do. I don't know how much you've changed it. And it completely changes the deck.
Right.
Right.
Well, no, I was just going to say, by the afternoon of, so that was Wednesday when I did, by the afternoon of Thursday, I fucking love the deck. Like, I keep goldfishing it, and I'm just like, okay, the changes were good. Renshai helped out too on the cast of, I had 3 visits in there, and I asked for more. That's cool with the live stuff, being able to ask people, hey, I need this. I needed more fetching stuff to make my mana base stuff, whatever. But that helped out quite a bit with that. It flows really well. And when you made the point of, and I don't know if it's because I played it different at that point, but the funny thing too is Renshai said, did this just turn into a spotlight segment? Because we're basically talking about Urtet as the main example. But I mean, that's the most recent thing. When you made the comment of your mirror are the first, your early game, mid game stuff, your Planeswalkers hit later. I played it almost differently, because then it was just like, focus on the mirror getting out, get them as your blockers, get enough ramp and everything that's going on. And once you feel like the defense is good enough, pop the Planeswalkers, and they can't touch your Planeswalkers at that point. And a lot of my Planeswalkers, again, we've had the Planeswalker segment before, but have them fit with what you're doing in the deck. Don't just be like, this is a good Planeswalker, I'm putting in it. I have my Planeswalkers fitting into my removal. Like, that's what they're doing. Like, a lot of them are the removal, and a lot of them are the game winners, because I'm hoping that my mirror hold back enough, and I have enough removal with the other Planeswalkers that they can just build up and end the game by themselves, and no one can actually touch them.
Right. And going into this isn't necessarily 5-color deck building, but how you want to play when you're building a deck, I think you should be thinking about how you want it to go.
Right.
Because if and that's not necessarily specific cards. I want to play this card into this card into this card, and then I win. That type of stuff is like kind of magical Christmas land.
Yep.
Right. And that I don't think. I think you want to have fun with it, but don't count on it. Right.
Right.
Like, and like my Ishin deck, I want to play creatures that create tokens, and then I want to drop Ishin and build an army, right? And along the way, I want to add in cards that allow me to deal damage or lose life when my creatures attack. And then I just want to drop Ishin. And I can drop Ishin anywhere in that line, and I know that. I just don't want to do it before I don't have any real triggers, because people just pick it off, right? So you want to get at least one trigger off of it. And so as long as you know, like, as we talked about in our blueprints, what's your theme? What are you doing? And then where do you want to play these ideas? Right. Yeah. This is a big tie-in segment.
It is.
And
that's exactly what I wrote, is follow the blueprint guidelines, because that's what ended up helping me in the end. Was our blueprint. I had it up on the side whenever I'm building it, and I'm like, I need to be within this range. And so it forces me to cut the ones, like, what are my favorite, or what are the best removal ones that I have here? What fits in the theme and is my removal? And you just cut out. You have to cut it. You're trying to make this all fit. One thing I will say really quick with our blueprint stuff, when it comes to 5 color, having a side theme is a lot tougher.
A lot tougher.
Yes.
Agreed.
I would almost say that part becomes one with the main theme. And that's what I ended up having to do with this, is my mirror and the planeswalkers were working together. So they became your side and your main theme with everything.
And for you, a little bit of what I'm guessing at this point, like your planeswalkers, like you said, turned into your removal.
Yes.
So it's technically a side theme, but really they just turned into your removal.
Yeah.
And more than likely, your mirrors are your ramp.
Yep.
And Urtet can be your tokens and your +1/+1 counters. You have your removal taken over. And that's generally one of those side themes go into the main blueprint part in my mind.
Right.
And so I want it to either be like drawing, ramping, and the great thing for this is your side theme is removal, your main theme is ramp, and the only thing you really need to work on is your draw.
Right.
On a face level. Right. And so, and then you work in a little bit of your protection, and that's kind of what you got going on. And that makes a ton of sense to me. But when you're working with 5 colors, going back to that, like, if you feel like you're being overwhelmed with a lot of choices, do what you're doing. That's the thing. Like, and that, again, not treating you guys like my kid, but Lowry has a really big issue of, like, it's probably, it's not ADHD, it's just being a kid, but it's the, this and that and that. It's like, hey,
squirrel
dinner,
squirrel.
You're eating dinner. Don't run around the circle and come back and take one bite. And run. Just do what you're doing.
Your kids do that too?
Yeah, absolutely. And then it's like, at the end, it's like, all right, me and the wifey are going to have dessert. I want dessert. Well, you literally have had 4 bites. Like, you didn't eat anything. I'm sorry, but, and then he sits down and and I'm like, see, when you do what you're doing, like, you move forward, you get stuff done, and then you can move on to the next thing. And so, like, when you're deck building, focus on doing what you're doing. And if there is room for that extra thing, you can do it. And 5 color gets tight, like we were talking about. There's no room. There's hardly any room for utility lands.
Right.
You want to focus on being able to do what you do and then fit in something. But again, playing or gold fishing will teach you if that works or not.
Yeah. And so that is key. If you guys can, gold fishing is really good to figure out what's going on with it. I've goldfished that deck. I haven't played it yet against a person, but I've goldfished it at least 20 to 30 times. Like, that's where and it helps. And actually, I did it on stream because I was just like, what is not, I need to figure out where I'm lacking or what I don't need. And so it helped me a couple times. That's the first time I've done that on stream. Although every time I did it, I will say this, I got people going, all right, good night. Cause it seemed like I was playing the deck, but all I was doing was just trying to see what was coming up. If I was not getting enough ramp, or if I didn't have enough mirror, if I didn't have enough this or that. And so I lost a few people as I was doing it, but it does help to do that. Like gold fishing is the first step to actually playing it before you're, playing it with your buddies. And I feel like it's in a good spot. Like it seems like a really fun deck. I really can't wait to play this deck, but back to 5-color stuff. But I think what you stated is keep the focus. Like know what you want to do with the deck and don't focus on, well, white has, Smothering Tithe and this and this. I got to play all the staples because I have every choice. If it doesn't fit with what you're doing, I mean, we're not talking CEDH here. We're talking typically just your EDH playing with your buddies. It's more fun to play a themed deck that isn't like all your other decks than to copy paste. All right, this is what I used in all those other decks.
Right. And that's, we're getting in, some of this is generic deck building advice. Some of this is 5-color, but when you are making deck choices, I think what you did was a great idea of you use this here. You don't have to use it there just because they're staples. Like I don't use Ristic Study unless I have to.
Right.
Like I feel like,
and that was one of the cuts after Ibukaki mentioned it, because there was a lot of staples that were cut early, but Ristic and Mystic Remora were still in there. And then when he kind of put that while I was streaming, I was like, you're right. Fucking A, cut, got him out. I did a Lowry and cut and moved on. Like that was hard for me.
Yep.
I know a lot of times it's like
just cut cards.
Yeah, you just cut. And then Ibukaki gave me shit. He's like, Lowry is so much quicker at this than you. I was like, I know he is. It's like, you don't want to see me do, like, it's good I'm doing it this way on like being able to see the cards this quick, because when I have the physical cards and I'm going through it, it's going through my entire 120 cards and cutting one card.
Yeah.
So it takes me that much longer. This way of doing it is so much faster for me, but if it's to each their own.
I mean,
like,
you gotta do what's successful for you as well.
Yeah.
God, I had a good point and I'm totally forgetting it.
When does the deck building advice happen? Wait, you know what? Where's the
Mr. Hockey? You could just you could learn to cut some cards. I know that.
Oh shit! I thought I had it there.
I would just say build a better deck.
That might be a new button here. It's an
segment.
old button, but it might be a new segment.
It might be a new segment coming up.
Okay, so here's the thing. Something like Ristic Study, and this is something that we're gonna try and get number 2 on about as well. I think we me and you haven't talked about it, but me and number 2 have.
Oh,
but
I see how it is.
I talked about you. I talked about it with you about the conversation I had with number 2 about it. But Ristic Study is some like these really, really over like very played cards people can get sick of, right? And so something like Ristic Study, I try and not have in the deck. It's like something that I don't even consider unless it's like a very draw heavy deck. That's the sub theme, where I want 20 instances of draw instead of 15 or 12. And so, but also if I feel like a deck doesn't have the draw or doesn't have the ramp or whatever, that's where I go, okay, let's add in this staple because I don't have enough instances of it. But if I do get here, it will drastically help. Right. And so like Aura Shards is a great enchantment artifact removal. Right. And so if I'm like, okay, I gotta be cutting a ton of this stuff.
Shit, I should add that into my mirror deck. No, I'm just kidding.
You could control the board with it.
It actually would be a really good ad.
Right. And so I'm guessing that you don't have a lot of artifact and enchantment removal, but you have a lot of creatures coming into play. And so you can just be like, you know what? I only have 3 instances of this. I might want to take out one of these lesser ones and put in something that can happen more like an engine, very much in line with what the mirror and the tokens are happening, so that you can control the board and removal a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I start thinking about Rhystic Study or Aura Shards or Cyclonic Rift or Crater Hoof Behemoth. Like
that's the goldfishing it out and seeing how it plays. Seeing
Right.
but the thing is goldfishing only does so much. It's when you get into real life and seeing, dealing with actual opponents, I need more of X, Y, and Z. Yes. Yep.
And even like if we're talking about like go back to Lutzen where I goldfish everything, that's the majority of the time that I spend. At least I'd say 75% of the time that I spend on Magic is goldfishing.
Mm-hmm.
And just learning how to deck plays, feeling the cards that work, some of them that are weaker, and be fine with it, but understand that they're there. And so like when I was able to hand the deck off to David during the Lutzen weekend, and like they ran smooth for him and he really enjoyed them. But I played Rafine. It didn't really work because I made a lot of big changes before Lutzen. And then he did it and it kind of floundered for him as well. I didn't even goldfish. I just went through and like, okay, you know what? I don't like this. I have a ramp problem actually when I went through the blueprint part. And then I'm able to just switch those out, goldfish it, and you're like, you know what? This feels a lot better now. And so, and I understand that not everybody has that kind of time. Like you're able to just get away for the games and the deck building part, but I highly suggest goldfishing.
Yeah. If you put your deck on like Mox Field and all that stuff, they have the option to play it on there, which is, and if you
Also
have
true.
the physical cards, you can do it there, but the Mox Field thing works out really well. There's a lot of ways to do the goldfishing. So I don't want to get to 2 hours. So is
Good
there
luck.
more tips that you would like to add or some problems or anything like that? Cause I think I hit all my key points with everything.
I think really focus on whatever blueprint that you like. Make sure you have the proper ramp and fixing.
Right.
Make sure you have enough draw in there. And then everything else beyond that, kind of try and focus on your theme.
Yep.
Make sure you can play your cards. Make sure you're not running out of cards.
Start with your theme. Start with your theme and work your way out almost in a way. Once you get all your cards gathered, make sure your theme is the core part and then filter in behind that. All right. I think that's good, right? We're good.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Do I get to the tournament? I got to hit the button again.
Stop. My penis can only get so erect.
This is that whole segment, right?
Gotta get banned on YouTube.
No, that's just
TikTok.
TikTok. They don't like to hear penis for some odd reason. All right. Let me
There's nothing wrong with penis.
Let's get to this.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event.
All right. I just stopped it there. All right. So we have the 3-drop Monorock tournament going on right now. We drafted 16 different Monorocks, 3-drop Monorocks last week. And we had the voting go all this week. Let's just get started with this. Let's see how everything shook out, and I'll get your opinion on how everything goes here. So our first matchup, the number 1 pick going against your number 16. So a Chromatic Lantern going against the Border Post. Where do you think this should have worked itself out?
It's probably in the 90-10 range. I hope that the Border Post do better,
Just
but I
because
don't
you
expect
chose
it.
them,
Well, I like them more than I should.
but more than Chromatic Lantern.
I don't have to,
Okay.
like, I just said 90-10. What
All
more
right.
do you want?
This was the biggest blowout of all of our tournaments, all
Right.
combined. There was 1 vote for Border Posts.
What? Was that the one that you set up on
No.
Discord?
98, and actually it was a Discord vote. Everything YouTube, Twitter was all Chromatic Lantern.
That might have been just me.
No, I think it was, I don't want to call out the person that voted for it, but
Okay.
there was one person that voted for Border Posts. So 98% was for Chromatic Lantern. All right, so we go to the
All
match.
right.
Match
Good
number
for
2.
you.
Yeah. We have Basalt Monolith against Honor Worn Shaku. You had Basalt as your number 1 pick. Where do you think this shook out?
This is probably 80-20. Assault Monolith should dominate this one.
You're pretty close. 79% went for Basalt Monolith.
All right.
So that was a
Good.
That was a pretty big blowout. All right, as should be the number 1 picks.
Yeah.
So then we get to our middle range stuff. So our number 8, you had Patriarch's Seal going against Midnight Clock. Your number 8 against my number 9, Midnight Clock. Where do you think this ended up?
I think this might be the closest one. Like 50s, both in the 50s. I don't know which way I would go.
Okay.
Depends on how many accounts that number 2 started up.
Oh, are you saying for Midnight Clock because he loves it?
Yeah, he does.
This isn't the closest voting. We have our closest voting a little bit later. But this went Midnight Clock, our first upset, 64%. It's not a big upset. It was an 8 or a 9 taking out an 8, so that's not a terrible upset.
That's true, but that's a higher percentage than I anticipated.
Yeah, so 64% went for Midnight Clock. All right, our match number 4 is Staff of Completion, which is what I had, number 7, going against Skyclave Relic, a number 10 seed. Where do you think this shook out?
I think the Relic probably dominated, like 70-30.
70-30. You're kind of close. It went 66%. This is another upset. So a number...
It's not. You chose wrong.
Oh! Douche canoe.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them that I will be honest, when I was drafting, I was like, Larry's not going to pick this. I can pick this later. And then you chose it. Like, motherfuck. All right. So match number 5 is Cheating Inspiring Statuary.
It's not.
Going against Vexing Puzzle Box. Number 4, Inspiring Statuary against number 13, Vexing Puzzle Box.
And the next day, I went out and got a Vexing Puzzle Box.
Because it's that good. And you like rolling dice.
No. I just found that, like, you know what? Maybe I should get one of these. But Inspiring Statuary should win this. 60-40.
Does this help that this is our closest match?
No.
This is our closest match. But you won 57% of the votes. This is our closest one.
It shouldn't have been.
It is.
That's ridiculous.
You went out and bought Vexing Puzzle Box. It tells you
because
something.
I have 18 Inspiring Statuaries.
Because they're that bad. Do you have them in any decks? All right. Match number 6 is Relic of Legends against Strixhaven Stadium. Number 3, Relic of Legends against number 14, Strixhaven Stadium. Where do you think this ended up?
For the same reason that Inspiring Statuary should be doing well, Relic of Legends should do well. You have more artifacts on the board than you do Legends, but Relic of Legends is a 3-mana rock that will get you 2, 3, 4 mana. And that is so good.
You are correct. 73% of the people voted for Relic of Legends. So the Relic moves on. And then our number 7 matchup, and actually I had it marked wrong. I had Cursed Mirror as number 5, which actually should have been Decanter of Endless Water was the number 5 seed. But Cursed Mirror, number 12 seed against Decanter of Endless Water, number 5 seed. Where do you think this ended up?
I might have gotten an upset here. Cursed Mirror. It's going to be close, but I'm going to say Cursed Mirror has this one.
It wasn't close. But Kursmir won at 75%.
Wow.
Upset number 3.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn it, did I screw it up by adding that as the number 5 seed? And because this is the first time on the voting, I actually put the seeds on everything, where last time when we did it, I didn't. So I screwed myself over. Screwed myself over.
Maybe.
And then our last matchup of the first round is Commander Sphere. Thought you wouldn't pick this card at number 6, but you did, because I thought you weren't going to pick it at all. And that's against Warren Powerstone, number 11 seed.
Yeah.
Where do you think this ended up?
Commander Sphere crushed.
Yeah,
I don't care what you say. I don't know.
82%.
Yeah.
82%. All right, so this is the bracket. Lowry has I have only 3 that moved on, and Lowry has 5. Is that right? Yeah, 8. So Lowry made the advantage. So it's opposite of our last tournament, where I had more moving on the first round and then evened out. But here's our matchups for
You
this
have Chrome
week.
Lantern, though.
Yeah,
that's going to be hard to beat.
All right, here's our matchups. So this week it is my number 1 going against my number 9, Chromatic Lantern against Midnight Clock.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like Chromatic's going to take that one pretty easily.
And that's your choice. Whatever you.
What do you
push.
think? Where do you think?
What? Yeah, Lantern.
Okay,
For sure.
I want honest opinions here, not vouching for your.
No,
your
we're gonna
card
talk
decision.
shit. That's what I'm doing here.
All right, match number 2 is your Basalt Monolith going against your Skyclave Relic. Where do you think that one goes?
I think they're both wonderful cards, and they both deserve a spot in the next round.
I honestly have Skyclave in probably 2 decks and none with Basalt Monolith. So I will vote Skyclave.
I have neither, but I'd probably more likely play Relic, but I understand that Monolith
with
wins this.
Yeah. With the combo stuff. Match number 3 is your Inspiring Statuary against your Cursed Mirror. Number 4 against number 12. Well, that's what happens when you win. You take 2 upsets there, or 1 upset on this side.
I'm worried that Chris Mirror is gonna win this, but Inspiring Statuary is the better card.
Cheater!
It's the better card. It's the
Shenanigans.
goddamn better card.
Shenanigans.
I promise you.
And I don't know if you noticed when I put in the voting, I put cheating Inspiring Statuary. And I will say the Inspiring Statuary had with the Discord an even 10-10 vote. Everything else was lopsided.
It's like we were talking about, like the relic of legends. Like, you're going to have just so many artifacts randomly out there that it just turns it into mana. All your equipment turn into mana.
So you're vouching for Inspiring over Cursed Mirror. I see how it's going
Absolutely.
on. Oh,
it's
you
the best
you want the cheating
rock out there.
This is your hashtag Forest Walk moment right here. Your Inspiring Statuary.
It is.
All right, and then our last match is my Relic of Legend. This is gonna be a good battle. Number 3 against Commander Sphere. Yours only.
I think
taps for
Commander
1.
Sphere takes this.
Yours only taps for 1. Mine can tap for multiples. You're gonna have legends out there, right?
How many cards can you draw?
Oh, you're gonna sacrifice your mana rock. You're gonna sacrifice your mana.
You sacrifice mana when you don't need it, and you'll just run out of cards, I guess. I don't know. It's not cheating.
I like mana rocks where you can tap. I mean, you play with a commander, so your commander taps for mana. Your
great.
Legendary anything else taps for mana. Your planeswalkers tap for mana.
Why even? It's not even like an argument.
It is. That's why we're doing this.
Wins this. It's easy. It's simple.
Oh, you're such a cocky bastard.
It's a simple one.
All right. So we got the matchups for this week. Oh, wait. They went back to the other one. But anyway. Oh, I can back it up. So you guys can vote for these. These will be live on Tuesday. Yeah, I think I should have them up by Tuesday. YouTube. Actually, early voting on YouTube on Tuesday. Everything else will hit on Wednesday. Discord and Twitter, which I don't even know why I put it up on Twitter because we get barely any votes. But I will put it there as well as another place to
hashtag
vote.
fuck Twitter.
Yeah, I like. Can we get a T-shirt of that one? Because I will do that. All right, that should do it for this week. We will catch you guys next week on Tuesday, not Monday.
Tuesday
Tuesday live. If you guys are watching, listening, whatever, Live is on Tuesday. 3 Malort shots are lined up. Josh is probably going to join us on that one because he's going to. He's gonna be there for it.
He might be busy, but
busy. All right, we'll see.
Busy.
All right, that should do it for this week. We will catch you guys next week.
Under 2 hours. Thanks for listening.
See ya.
Bye.
Sega.
I love boobs. I'm talking tatas. I love boobs. I'm bonkers for honkers. I
gotta
love boobs.
pee.
Thanks for the memories. I love boobs.
Boobs. Oh yeah. Here.
Beer time.